If 100,000 fell into my hands tomorrow, I'll probably sit down with Mum and Dad and think of a good way to use it.
If I have 100,000 tomorrow, I will be put straight away deposit for my place, I think.
If $100,000 fell into my hands tomorrow, I'd probably just put it in a bank account and save it for probably put towards a house later on in the future.
When I can access my winnings out of my trust fund, I'd like to put it towards a unit or a car or something sensible and not just waste it.
When I'm able to access the money in my trust fund, I will definitely use it for the future. I definitely invested in property.
My trust fund, I will be helping my family, my dad, father, you know, make your life easy for us.
My attitude towards money is to save as much as possible while I've still got a steady income coming in and to invest it wisely later on.
My attitude towards money would probably be, can be a good thing if you know how to use it correctly.
Money can be seen as good and bad. Obviously, if you abuse money, it can turn the wrong way, but if you treat it well, it can be good to you.
Well, everyone needs money and, you know, you got to put in the hard yards to make as much as you can while you can.
My attitude about money is looking after it because you're going to need it in the future, and money makes the world go round.
My favorite jockey is Christophe Soumien. Why? Because he's very tall but sit very low and always, when he get opportunity, always get result. That's why.
My favorite jockey is Courtney Brown because like he make a decision really good. Last 600 he always run home horses, like give it to her all opportunity to run best of the races.
My favourite jockey would possibly be Craig Williams. He's got good hands on a horse, a unique style, and I think he's a terrific horseman.
My favourite jockey would be Corey Brown. He's just very kind to the horses. He's a good influence on apprentices. He's just a very styled jockey.
My favourite jockey is Darren Bittman. The reason I like him because I like his style, I like the way he's pushing all the horses, and he judged the racing very well.
The best thing about being an apprentice jockey is the riding. The horses are just amazing, and the adrenaline rush you get when riding in a race is just unreal.
I think the best thing about being an apprentice jockey would be the animal. You got to love the animal in this sport, and you know, I feel every day I go to work I enjoy riding horses, and something you got to have in this industry.
The best thing about being an apprentice jockey for me would be the opportunity to ride for some wonderful trainers, learn experience and gain lots of horsemanship skills.
The best thing about being an apprentice jockey would be you learn new things every day, just meet new people, and just I love being around horses.
I think the best thing about being an apprentice jockey is it's very satisfying. You learn something new every day and the rewards are very great.
The best thing about being an apprentice jockey is having new experiences and having a thrill when you ride. It's a feeling like no other. And
One piece of advice I'd give to apprentices to becoming an apprentice, champion apprentice jockey, would be, for mine, work hard, listen to your boss, and give it your best shot, because you don't get too many bites at the cherry. Give it your best shot from the start, tuck the ball under your arm and run with it.
I think going from an apprentice to a senior rider, the biggest difference, you won't really, it's not like you wake up the next day and everything's different, but you've got to manage your time and your thoughts better because you haven't got someone behind you giving you the your rules and your parameters. You know, your rules and your parameters are now set by yourself, so you need to make sure that you differentiate your enjoyment time from your work time and make sure that when you are working, you do it properly and apply yourself.
Did you go through which questions?
Well, the difference is when you come out of your time is that you don't have that master there, you know, looking over your shoulder and monitoring your every move. If you reflect back on, you know, the greatest jockey this country's probably seen in the last 50 years, Ronnie Quinton, he's won 8 premierships and no one will ever do that again. When Ronnie came out of his time, he asked Theo if he could stay on for another year. And you know, that's the sort of humility and application that I'd like to see in a young apprentice now. You'll never see that sort of application probably going forward, but I think it's the mindset that you need if you want to be successful.
The main difference from being an apprentice graduating to a senior is you're all on your own. You haven't got a master to back you up and you haven't got a place to live anymore. They soon kick you out on your own. You get all your money as a senior, so you need to try to get that into investment and try to work the best way where you can put your money away and not waste it.
The difference being a senior rider to when I was an apprentice, you don't have a claim. It's a bit harder there. You've got to go out and ride a lot more work and do it on your own. It's a bit easier not having dad pushing me the whole way to do it myself, but look, being an apprentice, if you're with the right trainer and got the right mentors like you, Malcolm, yourself, it's very easy, and I think you just got to take it to the next level.
How I deal with the variations is, well, as being a senior, if you get suspended, it's your only income. You haven't got that usual apprentice wage coming in. So, look, you just need to put your money in the right places. You should have a tax man and a financial advisor who could help you put the money into the right places and have you financially secured for that year or years to come. The way I deal with it, it all goes to an accountant. My auntie looks after that and puts it into houses. I've got 3 properties at the moment. And the more money comes in, just the more properties I'll buy because you can never go wrong with bricks and mortar.
Look, riding, I believe riding is all about the enjoyment. You know, if you enjoy it, everything falls into place with that. So as long as I'm enjoying it and I'm competitive and I'm sort of pain-free, that's how I want to continue while I'm in that frame of mind.
I'd like to be a jockey as long as I can, as long as I'm riding well, fit and healthy, and can make the weights that I'm required to ride. I don't want to go out being sour on the game. I want to go out very enjoying it, a bit like Rodney Quinn. And I think Rodney Quinn said to me a while ago that the game gives you away, you don't give the game up, and I think that's exactly right.
How long I'd like to work as a jockey? Well, look, as long as my body's well and I'm riding excellent, I'd love to keep going for as long as I can. It's a great passion of mine. I don't do it for the money, I do it because I love the game. And look, if I can get from 40 to 50 comfortable, riding at my best, I'll keep going.
I knew time was up when I started chasing 100 to 1 chances round, and I knew the time was up then. I was in the mid-40s at the time, and basically jockeying's like playing sport. They all look to the younger guys, and I knew the time was up then.
19. I was only 19 because in them days you started when you was a bit younger, and yeah, so I got out at an early stage. I knew it was time to get out of race riding when the opportunities started to dry up. I had a bad fall at Rose Hill, which set me back about 18 months in my career, and increasing weight, and it was just time to get out.
I was 35 when I gave it away in '93, and I started in the sport when I was 15. So it was a great ride for 20 years. They say that everybody has 15 minutes of fame. Well, I pinched a lot of people's 15 minutes because I had 20 years of it. That was amazing.
I rode for 28 years, which was just absolutely wonderful. I love riding to the day I finished. I just used to love packing the gear and fronting up race day. I just absolutely loved it.
I prepared with my new career as a horse trainer by doing a lot of homework and getting a big overdraft, or a line of credit as it is now, overdraft in the old days. And I was lucky enough to have the support of my wife's brothers, who helped me set up my training career. And it was very hard to get boxes at Randwick in them days, and you actually had to get boxes off the track before you got them on the track. And through them I got a very famous jockey's wife owned a set of stables, Darby Munro, who was Kathy Munro, and she rented me the boxes.
Well, actually I was pretty well prepared because I wasn't doing much riding in the last month or so prior to my last ride, and I was preparing the basics of stabling and getting a few horses together. So basically I rode on the Saturday and I became a horse trainer on the following Tuesday. So I was pretty well prepared.
My attitude towards money is I'm very tight with my money. I don't like to spend much. Very stingy.
My attitude towards money is it's something that can come very quickly in racing, and it can go just as quick. And you know, I think you've got to be wise with it, and so it's there for a long time.
The best advice I've had for managing my money was off my father. He said, well, I come from a family who's had to work very hard all their lives to get what they've done, and he always said to me, he said, you work too hard to get what you want, mate. He said, you don't want to chuck it away in pokies and alcohol, he said, because it doesn't last too long, it all goes. He said, being a champion jockey can last as long as you want, as long as you keep riding well and putting your money into properties.
The best advice I have received in managing my money is put it straight into property or business. My auntie and my uncle's a bank manager, my auntie's a financial advisor, and look, you can't beat business once you've got property. It's just natural income, and it will help you in the future.
Well, I think the sort of advice you need to manage your money when you're young is to be as frugal as possible, because you know, you never know how the future holds, and you know, the best way for any young man when they're going forward is to put it into property. And we've seen how our jockeys in the past have been very successful, having their money tied up in property and working towards greater acquisitions as they have more success.
But when you're managing your money as you are now when you're young, you'll be getting lots of it, hopefully that you're successful. But you know, years ago when we were younger, we didn't receive any advice at all. So whatever advice you receive now, you've got to take it very seriously, because you'll be hearing it from people like myself and senior jockeys who weren't afforded that opportunity, and you know, you can't put an old head on young shoulders. So take that advice, some of it, sift out what you think is no good, and work out what works for you.
Well, I think first and foremost is I try and explain to them to handle it carefully, look after it. It doesn't last forever, and certainly have someone working for you that can help you from like the accountant side of it, good financial advice, and if you've got a mum and dad that's in for that, well, they can be a great help too.
Well, advice I would give them to manage their money and their finances, because kids today have the opportunity to earn enormous money. In my day, I wish I had someone that I could have went to speak to along those lines. I would suggest to them to go and talk to somebody who knows a bit about finances and who knows a bit about money, to be advised from them, more so than me. So I'd steer them in the right direction to approach somebody and ask about where our finances could end up.
Well, in the benefit of hindsight, I wish that there would have been something like that we're setting up now with drugs and alcohol, because as I said at the apprentices meeting that day, the reason I had my fall was that I was taking certain medication to keep my weight down, and a situation arose in a race where I had to make a quick decision, and I couldn't make that decision because of the form of tablet that I was on, which was Duramine, and next minute down I come. So if I had help, that'd be, which what we're doing now, I think that would have been might have saved my career.
Look, I think the sort of person that I'd be looking for as an apprentice would be a young fella that's got a level of dedication and humility, and so I think that going forward, what we find with top young jockeys is that when they do have a level of success, it's their capacity then to cope with the level of success and then have the application and the workload that'll carry them forward.
Well, first and foremost, I like to see the decency in a kid. Also their attitude, and I like to see that passion that they've got. They've got to have that passion for racing, and I like to see them come from a good family background.
Well, first thing I look for in an apprentice jockey, and I've had a few, I've got to say the utmost thing you look for is respect, work ethic, and basically not just being able to ride, they have to have the whole package, and the whole package is being able to present themselves, talk to people, they have to be approachable as well as riding, but it's not just all about riding. There's a lot of other factors that go with it, but the first thing I've got to say I look for is attitude and respect.
It is a big package. As I explained to the boys and the girls, it's not all about riding. It's a lot of it's on the ground stuff as well, and it's a combination that makes champion riders.